Hello friends and welcome, I'm Mike Birmingham, and this week we wonder, what if James Brown didn't feel good? What if Journey stopped believing? And what if the devil didn't go down to Georgia? Who knows? But seriously, this week we look at the mystery of the lost ship Endurance. We also ask, could you survive alone, like Matt Damon's character Mark Watney in the movie of The Martian? See an unfortunate penalty shootout and hear some words that can help put us in a positive frame of mind. First to our brain teaser, and that asks us, what is the number of this parking space? The answer to be revealed at the end. Some vintage pictures now. Images now, and first, if you're bear hunting and it's a long time ago and you're in Siberia, you may well have worn an outfit like this. Prickly all over, but it could save your life, and this was the 1800s. Next, miners and prospectors ascend the Chilkoot Trail during the Klondike Gold Rush of the 1890s. And now we see Nikola Tesla, the legend, sitting in the Colorado Springs Experimental Station with his magnifying transmitter, generating millions of volts in 1899. Finally, painters suspended on cables above the Brooklyn Bridge on the 7th of October 1914. To a word of mystery now. The location of Sir Ernest Shackleton's Endurance has been one of the great maritime mysteries since the ship became trapped in ice and sank in 1915. Finding this symbol of the heroic age of polar exploration at the bottom of the Weddell Sea has been long thought impossible because of the harshness of the Antarctic environment, the evil conditions, as Shackleton himself put it. Now, a major scientific expedition is being planned with a mission to locate, survey and film the wreck. It's called Endurance 22. It'll launch early next year on a vessel that will brave the most treacherous frozen waters, pounding its way through miles of pack ice. The effects of climate change might make the journey a bit easier, in fact, because of melting ice easing the vessel's passage. An international team of scientists will be on board, advancing knowledge of the Antarctic environment. These people are experts in ice and climate. So Shackleton and his attempts to cross the Antarctica, well, it's an epic story of valour and bravery and survival against all of the odds and the elements. The Endurance became trapped in ice off the Caird coast, drifting for months before being crushed. Now, some of his men drifted on ice floes themselves for months before landing on the uninhabited Elephant Island, where they lived off penguins and even the poor expedition's dogs. Shackleton himself and 5 others pressed on, reaching the island of South Georgia in a whaleboat, eventually rescuing the others from Elephant Island, with all 28 of the crew returning alive. Now, the Endurance is believed to be at a depth of around 3,000 meters, and although the vessel was crushed, the timbers are likely to be well preserved. That's as a result of the extreme cold, the absence of light, and the relative lack of oxygen. To some nostalgia from Ireland now. Some events from this week back in time include July 13th, 1985, the Live Aid concerts organised by Bob Geldof in aid of Ethiopian famine relief are held in London and Philadelphia, with the people of the Republic of Ireland contributing over £7 million. 1998, the second stage of the Tour de France, taking place for the first time in Ireland, ends in Cork City with a crowd of 40 to 50,000 turning out to see this historic event. July 14th, 2000, a Kerry sheep farmer called Patrick Moran earns himself a place in the Guinness Book of Records for shearing 206 sheep in a time of 9 hours, becoming the UK and Ireland champion. And July 17th, 1951, the Abbey Theatre in Dublin burns down. Ironically, the play that was on that very evening closed with soldiers on stage singing "Keep the Home Fires Burning." Okay, well, question of the week asks, would it be possible for a single person to live on Mars permanently? the same as Mark Watney as portrayed by Matt Damon in the movie The Martian? The answer is a resounding no. It's not possible, and the basic problem is food and potatoes. One cannot live on a diet of potatoes solely for any particular length of time. It isn't enough for the diet. Limited resources of energy and so forth would create autoimmune disorders, blindness, bone density losses, severe muscle reduction as well. So it's still a kick-ass movie, and for those of you who may not have seen it, here is a teaser.
I guarantee you that at some point, everything's gonna go south on you.
Ready?
And you're gonna say, this is it. This is how I end.
Commander, Mark is dead. We have to go now.
Now you can either accept that, or you can get to work. This will come as quite a shock to my crewmates, and to NASA, and to the entire world. But I'm still alive. Surprise.
To video now, and it seems I've been putting the humble bin bag on the wrong way for a very long time. Here's how we should do it.
So apparently, I've been using trash bags wrong my entire life. You're not supposed to do that. See this? The seam is inside out. I did not know that I didn't know that. Apparently, you put it on like a hat, okay? I will demonstrate. Open it up, put it on, okay? And then when it's taut, had no idea.
Oh, the things you learn every day. Now, if you're playing football and taking a penalty is required, do not be a ball magnet like this poor unfortunate chap. Well, with skills like that, he should be playing for the Premier League. Now, it's mind-bending time and an illusion from the 1980s and to Australian television.
Wait till I add something through the middle. What am I going to add? Well, I'm going to add a ballpoint pen. But what's your brain going to tell you about the window? Will your brain allow you to see the window going around in a circle with the pen? Or are you going to see something really strange? Well, have a look at that. That's unbelievable, isn't it? You can see the pen going around in a circle, but your brain is telling you that the window is going part way round and turning and going the other way. And yet in order to do that, the two things have to pass through one another, the pen and the window. You know it's not possible. You know it can't happen. And yet as you look at it, you see them going through one another every time they go around.
Isn't it amazing what the mind thinks it sees compared to what is actually happening? So we did ask in our brain teaser, what is the number of the car parking space, the parking space there? Did you work it out? How did it go? Well, as you can see, the answer is there, and it's all about how you look at the numbers. The final word, quote or affirmation. You know, if we start every day with gratitude, it does help because it helps put us in a positive frame of mind. Now, it's not easy to do, but you can practice on it. This, by the way, counteracts the depressive effects of stresses that confront us in life day after day. After all, we seek to be happy, having positivity and ease of mind. So let's look at a few of the things we should be grateful for. There's love, of course. Love is the greatest of all, the most important. The love of family or the love of a partner. Something that can be hard to define, but as the song goes, everybody needs somebody to love. And they say if you give love, you should receive it back. It also makes us feel special and wanted, fills the emptiness and loneliness, and stirs our soul and imagination. There's friendship, of course, hugely important as it draws us to like-minded people who can share similar interests to us as we go on life's journey. And health being your wealth, as the saying goes. Just ask anybody in a hospital bed where they would rather be. Yes, it is. Well-being is so important to help us in our ability to do even everyday things. So let us not take our health for granted. Home is where the heart is, a place of refuge and where one can feel safe and away from the troubles of the world. There's food without which we cannot function properly as individuals. We must also be grateful for that, as many people go without. And purpose, for many it is of course work, a reason to get out of bed. For me it's broadcasting and presenting video productions such as Mike's Miscellany, and for everybody it's a different thing. But it helps also provide money, which is hugely essential, the tool by which we buy and sell based on the barter system historically. But it's not the be all and the end all, as you often hear of a person who may be rich in money but have a poor soul. So yes, it's very, very necessary, and it shouldn't be seen as the only marker of wealth. There are many other examples. Water is another big one. The world is covered in water, 3/4 of the world. I often wonder why it's called Earth and not water. But there we go. Our bodies, 60% of our bodies are made up of water as well. And yet many around the world, they pollute, misuse, or mismanage this vital resource. There's air, of course. As the song goes, all I need is the air that I breathe. And our weather systems, they're going haywire, not to mention the greenhouse effect. But we've been polluting it over the centuries with all manner of toxic substances. Fire, the ability to cook food and stay warm, survival, hugely important to our survival since time immemorial. And planet Earth, our collective home, our lifeboat, we do not have another. We really got to look after this resource because it's the only one we got. And our spirit, the essence of who we are. Yes, we are spiritual beings living in a biological body. The form of the body, we're born, we age and we die. But the spirit lives on. It is the fundamental basis of belief systems worldwide. So a couple of things there, and hope you enjoyed looking in on this week's edition. As always, I thank you for watching, and I do hope that you have a great week. Look out for one another and make that call, perhaps rekindle a friendship that hasn't been there in a while. Say hi to somebody and reach out. Look out for one another, be safe and be well, and until next time, it's bye for now.